unknown transforming robot. It's probably shit, but if I just spit a quid, it really won't matter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ray here, back for another Transformers transformation review thingy, and I'm wearing the green, so that must mean it's another pre-auto assembly video. Indeed it is. That's all yours, Tony. So, a few things. What's up with my hair? That's the first thing. I bought a new camera. You know, a new webcam camera for the computer, but obviously I'm not using it because it's not compatible with my Mac. It promised all kinds of things on the box, you know what I mean? It promised all kinds of things. HD, and there was a YouTube logo and everything else, and I got it home and we both looked at it and we decided it's not going to work. You can Skype chat or you can record videos through Skype. I just thought, fuck that, I'm taking it back. Can anybody recommend a good webcam, high definition webcam with a good mic that I can use on my Mac that allows me to work, say, on iMovie or something like that? Because that would be awesome. We found a few different things, but there's nothing like someone saying, this is the one that I use and it's great. Please tell me. So auto assembly. Not long. So today I'm announcing bring a bot to auto assembly. I'm not announcing it. That people have said it before me, but I think I started it either last year or the year before. Was it last year? Was it last year, Dave, when you and I got all cuddly and bromancy? Was it then? I can't remember. But he was all he was, I think, yes, Dave Smith was just discovering Beast Wars, and I thought, I'm going to bring a few Beast Wars things to tempt that boy. So I brought my Transmetal 2 Megatron. Hello. And I think he did, well, he ended up getting one. I don't know how responsible I was for that. Probably not very. So on the YouTube, I announced that I was bringing bots, and I would like it if a few other people brought bots. Because what happens is you get there on the Friday before the bots have been bought, and you know, you talk about bots, but you want to have bots in your hand. So I'm going to be bringing some bots with me, definitely. Because, you know, it's like this. You're sitting at the bar and you've got, or alternatively, you're hanging out in someone's room. That's where the most fun was had, in those small groups and rooms and stuff like that. So, hanging out in bedrooms. You know, so you bring some bots, you bring them into the bar. Imagine that, you know, these group of these guys, all these transforming nerds, and we are for the most part men. We are for the most part men. And for the most part, I think late 20s, early 30s. Mid 20s, probably. And so, beer and bots and bros. Beer, bots and bros. So I'm announcing that today. I'm not announcing it today. It just sounds good and I wanted to say it. But I'm just reminding people, I think. That's what it is. Bring bots with you. Of course, bring bots with you. Bots even that you intend to sell or that you'd like to sell. There are a few things, a few extra things that I might take with me. You know what I did think about doing? I thought about bringing a couple of Darksteels, a couple of Skylynxes, just to kind of to spread the love, so that people can buy them off me, obviously. Although I wasn't looking to make a profit, because a lot of people are saying, I can't find a Darksteel, I can't find it. Where is he? There he is. I can't find Skylynx, but they have found them now, and I'm pleased. I'm very pleased that Rob found one, and Devilmus Prime. I'm very pleased that you found you got your Darksteel. Some issue with the foot. I do have him here beside me, so I shall show you it forthwith. And Robert Predaking 1980 something. It's not the decade I was born, but 1980 something. You managed to get yourself a Skylynx. So they're getting out there. I didn't know, in my ignorance, forgive me, that Predacons Rising was going to be a brand new movie. I thought it was just going to be 2, 3, 4 episodes squished together with some extras, but it's a whole new movie with whole new Predacons. Now, some of you might be listening to that going, I never knew that either. That's what I love about Transformers. Stuff like that happens all the time. I'm going to show you bots tonight. Even for hardcore, yes. Hardcore die hard. Yes, those work. That's what I intended to say. Bot fans might look at them going, I didn't know that they had existed. And that's how I was when I first seen these bots. So I must have them. First bot. And for you, Devilmus Prime, let me just show you what I've done to Darksteel. You may not notice massive differences, although one never knows. You see, I have oranged here. I've put some luminous orange on him because, by God, he needed it. I've given him nice toes. You see, he needed those toes. I've taken that awful... What is the deal with these new Predacons and the Beast Hunter stuff? They've all got inked numbers, some painted numbers printed on them somewhere. I take all that shit off. Look what I've done to his grappling launcher. Doesn't that look an awful lot better? Um, so he only needs a minor touch. This guy only needs a minor touch up because he already looks fantastic. Now, I forgot to say, one of the bots that I'm bringing to auto assembly is this one because the amount of responses, or rather the response I've had from showing my Transformers animated Beast Wars Transmetal Megatron, uh, it is a bit of a mouthful. Um, has been really good. It's been really positive. So I'm bringing this guy anyway, just so people. There's been 3 people who said, please bring it to auto assembly. So I shall bring it, and you may peruse him at your leisure. Now, the first bot I want to show you here today is this chap. We all know and love him. This is Armada Starscream, and I love him. He's not missing his wing. There it is. And I, like a lot of you, would have been really pleased to see that we are getting a deluxe Armada Starscream. That's very exciting. From this new Generations line, I love what's happening to Generations. We're getting a Whirl, we're getting a Voyager Whirl, we're getting a Voyager class Rhinox, Sandstorm, we've got a Blitzwing, we've got, it's shaping up to be really nice. And as soon as I seen we were getting essentially a redux of the Armada Starscream. Even on a deluxe, I don't mind. I was very excited. Also, Generation 1 Insectagon. What have they called him? Something ridiculous. I can't remember. But he's got... There he is. He comes with a reflector. Oh! Yes. Yes, yes. Everything was good. Everything was good. So this is Starscream. I love this mold. I love seeker jets, even movie seeker jets. I love things that fly. I just do. This guy is absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to show you some iterations. And this, of course, is Thundercracker. I know what you're thinking. There is no nation on this earth can get their tongue around the letter R as effectively as a Northern Irishman. Yes. This is... We start to get a little sexier now. This is Skywarp. He is sweet. So now I think we're about to have a what is that moment. That is that's what really excites me still about Transformers. When I get a what is that moment. Universe Ramjet. He is as sexy as he looks. Now hands up if you've heard of Sam's Club. What is Sam's Club? About a year ago, I seen a reviewer do a yellow version of RID Optimus Prime that made me do a massive double take. It's the first time I heard about Sam's Club. RID Prime is my, hands down, easily my favorite Prime. There isn't a Prime that can touch it in my opinion. I'm okay with Prime, but it takes a lot for me to get excited because I always prefer a Magnus or a Scourge V-Paint. That to me is very sexy. Just the character is much more interesting. There's me talking about character. It happens now and again. Prime's just too John Wayne for me, you know what I mean? So I seen this yellow version and I thought, looked on TF Wiki and it was lemony freshness and sold, absolutely sold. So I investigated Sam's Club. Let me tell you about Sam's Club. It's a membership-only retail warehouse based in the United States. Its parent company is Walmart, unsurprisingly. Now, let's take your Commodore Garden Armada Starscream. There he is, Commodore Garden. He's very nice. This is his alt mode. It's very sexy. It is a seeker jet. Right? This, I love this mold. I love this mold. What did they do? They repaint him and they stick him in the Energon and they turn him into this. Wonderful. The more versions of this mold, the better. Let me give you a little bit of comparison first of all. You can see this guy has a brighter red, much lighter grey, and there's an awful lot of yellow in him, much less black. This guy's his meaner cousin. This guy looks a little older, a little more world-weary. You're looking at him thinking he looks a lot more detailed. It's only because I've spent an awful lot of time painting him, that's all it is. But The reds are darker. Everything is a little darker. In short, he's a little sexier. He's a little bit sexier. And he's Energon. Now, you think that this is Energon Starscream. And you'd be right. This is Energon Starscream. But, now, this is my logic here. Hasbro Takara, I think, may have been not either unhappy with the size of this guy, because he's somewhere between a Deluxe and a Voyager. So what they did was they took this mold and they repainted this mold. They did into a much darker grey, darker reds, and gave him a lot more black. I think you know the one I mean. You may well have it. It's a different color variant of this. But because it was Starscream, they realized that Starscream could have been better represented, or rather Sam's Club did. So they thought, we'll take the Starscream, the Armada Starscream mold, and we'll give him the Energon colors, and we shall release him for you. And this is what happened, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It comes with Zapmaster as usual. There's little Zapmaster. He's still got the little gimmick. It works and it doesn't work. There we go, one at a time. Absolutely fantastic. The more molds we can have of this guy, the better. He's absolutely wonderful. Let me just get little Zapmaster out of the way. Now I've painted absolutely everything on him. Let me give you close-ups all around. Painted his face. Painted everything that could be conceivably painted. I'm especially proud of the inside of his legs here. As you can see, they look pretty good. This guy is fantastic. If you can find this guy at Auto Assembly. Now, some of you may be looking at this for the first time and thinking, I didn't know that that guy existed. You see, that's why I love Transformers, because that's exactly what happened to me. It was about, well, it was last year that I realized properly that this guy existed. And he was the Sam's Club version. It looks like an Armada Starscream. It's an Energon Starscream. Now, things like that blow my mind, because he looks like Energon Starscream and Armada Starscream at the same time. So he is a Sam's Club variant. Who was he packaged with? I shall show you. Now, this bizarre fish kettle is the misrepresented Energon Prowl. It's not that he's a bad mold, or especially if there's anything wrong with him. He looks for all the world like he could be, or rather he should be, a Mirage. Observe his blue color with his police and his Japanese writing. He looks pretty good, but the thing about a Prowl always seems to want to look like that which exists on Earth, and he absolutely doesn't. He's fine. Again, we are Deluxe. We're actually more of a Velux size again, halfway between a Voyager and a Deluxe. This eats modern Deluxes for breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. So, in a bizarre twist of fate, I think the same thing happened again. So they went back to Armada, and they thought, let's take this boy, give him exactly the same paint apps, exactly the same writing along the side. We have police, and we have the same Japanese writing. I wish I could read it, but I can't. And we'll call him Prowl. So this is Energon Prowl. So they took a Starscream from Energon, and they retrofitted an Armada Starscream. And the same with Prowl. They took a small Prowl from Energon, and they retrofitted the Armada Red Alert, as it was, and they made this guy. Now, the reason you can definitely know this is Red Alert is because he will tell you. Now, don't tell anybody, but I'm not a massive fan of the original Armada Red Alert. He's blocky, he's cumbersome, he doesn't like to stand, the transformation is unsatisfactory. The legs are absolutely hideous, and I have a real problem with bots that have detachable hands. They've got to really be really good, and they've got to really explain themselves, and they've got to have a really strong precedent, otherwise it's just why for me. So this bot does suffer a lot from all those things. But the paint scheme, the color scheme is all lovely. And he's a Prowl. This is Prowl. It's not a Red Alert. I love whenever Takara Hasbro do that. They take something that has existed in the minds of the Transformers fans for quite a while, and all of a sudden they go, it's going to be something else. Like what they do with the Universe. I love what they do with the Universe. It's great. There he is. Absolutely fascinating. I quite like that. And I quite like that. Now let me take you through the right things and wrong things about this bot. When I show you him in profile, you'll understand. This is just too much. And this is just too much. Too much plastic meets too much plastic. it's just a little bit too much. Um, there's an awful lot of things about him that are good, but like I say, this to me, I find it very difficult to get past this. I also find it difficult to get past the fact that he doesn't have a hand here. Now, we can rectify this by opening up this giant panel, and indeed, there must be some reason to have this panel. And you can see when you look in here, you got 1, 2 things, and we'll take one of them out. We'll take this one out, and it can go into his hand. And this is how, if you remember, this is how Energon, or rather Armada Red Alert, often appears in the. I've only ever seen some of the animated series. You know, any of you have watched it all the way through. Well done, brother. And one of his saving graces is definitely this over-the-shoulder cannon, which I really like, especially. Take his little minicon off there, long arm. I'll show you my painted version of him in a minute. Now, he doesn't look from the front, he doesn't look so bad. And indeed, he isn't really so bad, but there's just too much here. He's wearing half a fucking police car on his back, and that it isn't really good enough for nowadays, certainly. But it's a real, it's a power-up version of an Energon character that really lacked a little bit of power, a little bit of punch when he came to his plastic iteration. So this guy isn't at all bad. This opens up all the way at the front. Let me see if I can just do it briefly like that. And the disc will fire out, and I really think that's so good. Now let me show you his little minicon compatriot. This is Long Arm, and he's been very painted, as you might be able to see. And you've probably got an iteration of this guy. There are so many of them knocking about. Now, I'll just show you the box. So here is the box. And it's a very nice box. And again, of course, this is Sam's Club exclusive, but it's still Energon. Well, you would expect them both to be Armada because they're both Armada molds. Now, it would seem that Prowl is a very good foil for Starscream because Prowl holds logic and order dear, and the chaos and destruction to which Starscream is dedicated makes them polar opposites and natural enemies, each jealous of the other's strengths. Two will often single each other out in battle in an attempt to finally do away with their nemesis. Over the years, they find themselves evenly matched, each developing new combat techniques specifically to defeat the other, and neither one ever quite getting the advantage. Have a little look at the side of the box there, not bad at all. So here we have, though you'd hardly know it, the power-up version of Energon, Starscream and Prowl, who look very, very different from their on-screen counterparts. I'm really pleased that they did kind of upscale these guys because they really, really needed it. Starscream should always be a bit meatier and a bit sexier than the Energon version of him. And so this is the Sam's Club exclusive of Starscream and Prowl. Really pleased to have them. It's a really nice talking point to have in any Transformers collection. Looking forward to Auto Assembly. We're, well, I'm saying less than 3 weeks away because we are. Hope I will see you there, of course. I shall bring some bots, and I hope you do too, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ray, signing out.
Now that's what I call a robot in disguise. Thank you very much.